The Hmong population in Minnesota is now more than 80,000. Many of them came to the U.S. after helping American soldiers during the Vietnam War. Over the years, some of their culture and traditional ways were left behind. But at a library in St. Paul, they're hoping to bring it back. In this week's Finding Minnesota, John Lawrenson takes us to the Hmong archives, where more than 200,000 items detail a captivating history.
On a summer morning, bright sunshine lights the way to the St. Paul Library.
I saw him with his model airplanes flying around.
Where inside, they're hoping a bright future.
And I said, can you make a couple of those for us at the archives for defense?
Can be found by looking at the past.
People wanted to see things in their own language, and that you don't get at Target and Walmart.
Marlon Heiss is an archivist and volunteer at the Hmong Archives. He became interested in Southeast Asia while reading National Geographics as a boy. And he now travels there yearly.
Pieces of Hmong embroidery of Pandao. Hmong don't have a country, don't have national library, national museum, national anything.
But this tiny section of library is hoping to change that.
There's more to add to it.
Much more.
All the time.
Much more. Much more. Much more.
For 20 years, they've collected books, art, posters, and videos of Hmong culture from around the world.
We're now up to 206,000 items as of the 31st of December 2018.
The purpose is to help the current generation of Hmong children learn about what their parents and grandparents went through to make a new life in America.
My uncle and my father, they also part of the American soldier who served on the Secret War.
After helping U.S. soldiers during the Vietnam War,
Not that often anymore.
Brian Zhang's family lived in refugee camps around Thailand. But when he was 10, they moved from the jungles and mountains of Southeast Asia to the lakes and prairies of Minnesota. His family and thousands of others are the reason St. Paul now has the largest Hmong population per capita in the United States.
The younger generation, they don't speak Hmong anymore, and they have the archives to be a resource there, so if they can also learn about who they are, their identity, at the same time, their language.
Much of the work that happens here is educating and translating. Authentic written documents have been hard to come by.
Writing, not very much done. Paper and such, not very much available. Publishing, in Laos, not very much.
Which is why they're looking for VHS tapes that families may have recorded during their journey west. They're hoping to turn those into documentaries that this generation can learn from, so they can rediscover what being Hmong really means.
I really hope that the Hmong archives continue to keep what we, to collect more. I think the most important thing is how do we keep the material, but at the same time that our younger generation able to look it through, understand what it is, and also be able to read Hmong.
In St. Paul, John Lawrenson, WCCO 4 News.
Researchers from around the world have traveled to St. Paul to study the Hmong archives. If you'd like more information on how you can visit, just head to WCCO.com/links.